Today, we begin to restore hope for the middle class.
This is how the federal finance minister began his 2016 budget announcement. But it seems not all Frederictonians are that hopeful. Many seem to have mixed emotions when it comes to the announced deficit.
I think it's a bit ridiculous. I mean, we had a balanced budget with the Conservatives before, and we're on the track to a really positive, great government. I mean, they were doing a great job.
Often fear will cause people not to spend, will cause companies not to start or invest. I think that's the worst thing. I think we have to be positive, we have to look forward, give them a chance. I mean, the Liberals are just as guilty as the Tories are of being scoundrels, but let's give these new guys a chance and this young Trudeau fellow a chance.
The Liberals campaigned on a $10 billion deficit, eventually returning to a balanced budget. But Morneau announced an almost $29.9 billion deficit. Political science professor Tom Bateman said it's common for new governments to change their campaign promises once they get in.
But it is also true that the price of oil has continued to slide, and that has meant declines in revenues for the federal and provincial governments. And so he has a bit of an out in perhaps staying more or less true to the spending projections, but the revenue has bottomed out, so that's why the deficit can go up.
Jamie Gillies is a communications professor at St. Thomas University and is highly engaged in politics.
Honestly, I don't think most Canadians care about the deficit. I think they care about the deficit in an election year if the deficit grows to such a point that it's affecting the economy.
And it did seem many were not entirely engaged when it came to the issue of the federal deficit.
I haven't read the budget yet.
Now, how deeply you want to go into that is a question that's probably best left to the experts. But I'm not too unhappy about the budget as I understand it. So.
Both Gillies and Bateman believe the Liberals primed the public for a larger than expected deficit. They pointed out a lot of changes are about branding public goodies and tying them to the Liberal Party. But still it's not clear whether or not they'll be able to balance the budget before the next election. But Gillies said even the public may not disapprove of an unbalanced budget.
I think the Liberals have taken a gamble here, saying if we're going to run a deficit anyway, let's run a big one, provide and try to offer a series of programs and changes, and that's what they think the public wants.
For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Cody Peters.